Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really need to work on an intro of some sort. Something that I actually got a comment on, my nose itches, I'm allergic to cats and I have one. Something that I got a comment on a little bit a while back, maybe like about a month ago. And I've been really simmering on it and thinking, should I even have a conversation about this? And I really think that I should. So a lot of people, you're so cute. I love you so much. You're so cute. So one of the topics is how do you start a healthy relationship once you leave the JW organization? And it's very, very hard. Vulnerably share this particular experience that he had. And I thought, wow, I really want to defend this sister. And I couldn't justify it because I couldn't. So I definitely wanted to have this conversation with you guys. So a lot of people that grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses, as I did, I was a third generation JW. My grandparents were JWs. My mom is a JW. And I also grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, getting baptized at the age of 14. I became a regular pioneer. I did everything how I was supposed to be able to fit in, to be able to get God's, be in God's kingdom and have eternal terrestrial life, because that is what I wanted. I wanted to be able to, see the resurrection of my grandparents, of, just be in the new world, in paradise. So I was trying to do everything that I could do to be there. I didn't realize it until recently, actually. Even after I left, I never really gave it much thought, but until recently, I realized that the attention of the organization focuses a lot on sex, okay? On fornication, on adultery, on the P word. And so I'm, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't really understand it then, but now I'm like, wow, they really focus on sexual sin. And what that inadvertently does to you is when you are told, when you tell a little kid, hey, you can't go outside to play, you can't go outside to play, you can't go outside to play, they want to go outside to play. When you tell a kid, hey, that's your birthday cake, don't open the refrigerator because I don't want you to see it, they're gonna want to open the refrigerator to see it. It's not rebellion, it's curiosity. And I think that the more that we tell somebody, hey, don't do this, the more they want to do it. Okay, so I think that definitely that's problem number one. Problem number two that I see happening a lot is you are so, I don't want to say indoctrinated, but maybe so, but you're taught to be this submissive partner. You're taught to not have an opinion. I know sisters firsthand that were being abused by their husbands, and the organization and the elders were telling her, there's no biblical base for you to leave that relationship. You have to rough it out because that's what God wants you to do. And if you leave, you're going to be the one that's rebelling. And so it's a very toxic environment, right, for women in a sense. And I feel like once women leave that toxic environment and they go out into the world and they have, they try to start a relationship with somebody else, what ends up happening is they want to do the complete opposite. They want to be controlling. They want to dictate what's happening in the relationship. They want to be the head. They want to control. And it's because you were so submissive for so long in a toxic environment that probably caused you a lot of trauma and hurt and pain. And the way that you deal with it is to turn it around and when you're in a new relationship, completely go AWOL. And this is what this person that went on to my channel to commented his long story. And I was like so grateful that he shared that with us. But he was saying that he got into this relationship with an ex-JW or with a JW. I couldn't remember right now. I have to go back and look. And long story short, she just was very controlling and very dominating. And I get it. And I wanted to justify her because that was my case as well. So when I left the JW organization, I was in a marriage, or I had been in a marriage. I can't remember like the exact like time frame, but I had been in a marriage that I really didn't have any control over my home. I had to do whatever my ex-husband's mom wanted us to do, live the way that she, like, have the living arrangements that she wanted us to have. And you know, looking back, I think she was just trying to help. She was trying to do her part. She was trying to, you know, be good to her son. But I don't think that it necessarily was a healthy environment for the marriage itself. And so what that created in me was I wanted to actually have control of the situation. I wanted to have control of my house. I wanted to have control of the furniture that I had. Inadvertently, I ended up marrying, it's my cat. Inadvertently, I ended up marrying someone for a second time that wanted to control everything, was even a bigger control freak than I was. And so it just, long story short, it doesn't allow you to have healthy relationships. I can tell you the experience of my mom. My mom literally divorced my dad. My dad left us. They ended their relationship. And my mom never again had a relationship because it was such a negative connotation with restarting a relationship. And one, she didn't want to expose me and my brother to like another man. But two, in the congregation, nobody wanted her to, like, you know, everybody had their own thing. And if she would ever were to try to talk to somebody or whatever, you know, she'd be labeled a whore, you know? So it's a very oppressive circumstance. And long story short, when I'm thinking of all of this, one of the things that I really have in my heart is that I feel bad for women and men that leave the organization and then try to start new relationships, and the new partner just has no idea how toxic the environment that they were in was and how that is gonna, it's like a ripple effect into that new relationship. And so that's my first part of this video. Really wanted to touch on that because that was a very good comment, and I'm so grateful to the person that did it. I'll try to put their name like somewhere here, maybe in the comment section, that they can come back and see that I took the time to answer this video. I also have noticed, I also have noticed that a lot of people that leave the organization, even though they were traumatized, even though they did not agree with a lot of the treatment, they don't want to go into another religion. So when they meet someone new, they'll try to convert them, even though they themselves left the organization. So it's a pretty like twisted thing, but it's like familiarity brings content. If I said that right, I have Invisalign, so like I have like this lisp now. So I feel like that's like a huge, one of the huge like problems. They literally just don't feel comfortable in any other environment. So they're like, oh, if I find somebody that loves me, they'll love me enough to convert, because they haven't truly seen the traumatic cult they're in, I guess, is like the best way to say it. So sip break.